In a bustling city lived a young man named Leo. He was always late, always procrastinating, and treated his job as just something to get through. Most of his time was spent endlessly scrolling on his phone or just hanging out with friends, completely disconnected from his professional life. His work was just a background noise, easily ignored. He'd stroll into the office, phone in hand, casually swiping away work notifications without a second thought, more interested in the latest meme or a funny video from a friend. His days were a blur of laughter with friends and the glow of his phone screen, while important tasks and deadlines piled up, unnoticed and unaddressed. He was living in a bubble of his own making, unaware of the consequences that were quietly gathering on the horizon. One morning, on his usual lazy walk to work, Leo noticed something odd. A giant old clock that hung on a street corner, a landmark he passed every day, had stopped ticking. Its hands were frozen in time. He didn't think much of it, just a broken clock, right? But as he walked away, a strange nagging feeling of unease settled deep inside him. He shrugged it off with a little smile, but the image of the stopped clock lingered in his mind. The city around him was alive, everything moving, buzzing with energy, yet that one silent, motionless clock felt like a strange omen, a small crack in the fabric of his normal, carefree day. A few hours later, back at the office, that small feeling of unease erupted into a full-blown disaster. A small accident, born from his neglect, had huge repercussions. Because Leo hadn't bothered to organize a set of important documents, the team couldn't find a critical file. Just like that, a massive opportunity for the company vanished. The air in the office grew thick with stress and frustration. Papers were scattered, colleagues stared at their screens in disbelief, and the weight of the mistake settled on everyone's shoulders. And at the center of it all was Leo, staring at the empty folder on his screen, the color draining from his face as the full impact of his carelessness hit him. A wave of panic and shame washed over Leo. It wasn't just about the angry looks from his boss or the disappointed sighs from his colleagues. For the first time, he truly understood that his actions or inactions didn't just affect him. They had a ripple effect, touching everyone around him. He saw clearly how his laziness, his "I'll do it later" attitude, had real, tangible consequences. It wasn't just a lost file. It was a lost opportunity, a breach of trust, and a burden placed on his entire team. He sat there, head in his hands, replaying every ignored email, every postponed task. A profound realization dawned on him. This had to change. This had to be the turning point. From that day forward, something inside Leo shifted. He made a conscious decision to change. He started small, organizing his desk, setting reminders, and creating to-do lists. He began tackling his tasks with a focus he never knew he had, completing them on time and paying close attention to the details he once dismissed as unimportant. It wasn't an overnight transformation, but a slow, steady effort. And people started to notice. A quiet nod from a colleague, a smile from his manager, a pat on the back for a job well done. Slowly but surely, he was rebuilding the trust he had lost, and more importantly, he was building a new sense of pride in himself. Leo walked out of the office each day not with relief that it was over, but with the quiet satisfaction of knowing he had given his best, proving that change, no matter how daunting, always begins with a single, determined step. Thank you for joining me for this story. If it touched your heart, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more content that inspires.